This morning's Gospel reading, 10th of March, is from John, chapter 5, verses 1 to 18. Now after this, there was a festival of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now in Jerusalem, by the sheep gate, there is a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, which has 5 porticos. In these lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralysed. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, and knew that he had been there for a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when water is stirred up. And while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, take your mat and walk." And at once the man was made well, and he took up his mat and began to walk. Now that day was a Sabbath, so the Jews said to the man who had been cured, "It is the Sabbath, it is not lawful for you to carry your mat." But he answered them, "The man who made me well said to me, 'Take up your mat and walk.'" They said to him, "Who is the man who said this to you? Take up your mat and walk." Now the man who had been healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had disappeared in the crowd that was there. Later Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Do not sin anymore. Do not sin anymore. You have been made well. Do not sin anymore." I repeat that, so that nothing worse happens to you. The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. Therefore the Jews started persecuting Jesus because he was doing such things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, "My Father is still working, and I also am working." For this reason the Jews were seeking all the more to kill him, because he was not only breaking a Sabbath, but also calling God his Father, thereby making himself equal to God. This is this morning's reading, and it resonated with me because the guy at the side of the pool was 38 years old when he encountered Jesus. Now, this is roughly the time when I did, to be honest. Not roughly, it's pretty much exactly the time. And also, he was made well. And when Jesus made him well, he said, "Do not do anything." Let me find that sentence again. Later Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Do not sin any more, so that nothing worse happens to you." So in December 2014, I was very unwell. I was diagnosed with a condition called PSC, primary sclerosing cholangitis. The life prognosis for it, expectancy for it, wasn't very good. Even if you Google search it now, it's not very good. My liver enzymes are 1,200. My bilirubin was 230. I was very jaundiced, meaning yellow. And I've had my blood test results, which are behind me at the moment. I've scanned them into my phone and emailed them to my doctor, my consultant. My GP's given me my blood and my liver enzymes 85. So from 1200 to 85. My condition's supposed to get worse. PSC, primary sclerosing cholangitis, is meant to get worse. And my bilirubin is 11, not 230. And just this morning's Gospel reading from the Gospel of John, where this man encountered Jesus at 38. Essentially me. I encountered Jesus when I was 38, really. It just makes me happy, because the blood test results I only got them last week. And I phoned my mum and I said to her immediately, "Thanks to Jesus Christ, I feel not being healed, because I can still feel my liver, which I know isn't normal. When you're sitting around, you're not meant to be able to feel like a slight discomfort there. But if Christ is in you and you are in Christ, and we know Jesus is in the Father and the Father is in him, and if we love Jesus, we keep his commands, and then we are in him and he is in us. We are cloaked in his blood, and his sacrificial, what he sacrificed for us. And we are made well. don't know. Invalid, paralysed and blind man. This was an area. I'm just reading back on John. But the bit I find interesting, he says, when Jesus found, he said, later Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Do not sin anymore." It's almost speaking to me to say, look, you've been made well. Do not sin anymore. So that nothing worse happens to you, the sentence finishes. Just my way of sharing good news. I don't know. Today's reading really, yeah. Have a good day.